What's up, beautiful people? It's Sindærfam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video, and it's titled Drake sues The Weeknd for sending Hitmen. Really? The Weeknd sends warning. Wow, this is interesting. I'm excited to check this one out to hear what we gotta say. I don't want to believe this is true though, but yeah, I'm excited to check this one out to hear what we've got to say. Let's check it out.
Y'all need to take cover right now because Drake's beef with half of the industry is getting messier and messier as the days go by. At first, we thought it was just his beef with Metro Boomin and Future, but the next thing we knew, Kanye West hopped into the drama and shaded Drake. Then Kendrick Lamar got involved and dropped some of the craziest diss tracks that we have heard in a long time in the hip-hop industry. But his beef with The Weeknd has to be the craziest one right now. I mean, sure, Kendrick exposed him and dragged him for filth, but The Weeknd allegedly took it a step further and put out a hit on Drake. Yeah, I know that The Weeknd is a quiet guy and lives a private, low-key life, but everybody knows that it's the quiet ones that you really gotta watch out for because they are the most dangerous ones. If you're wondering why on earth The Weeknd would possibly want to put out a hit on Drake, it's because Drake allegedly put out a hit on someone on The Weeknd's team a few weeks ago. And if you're wondering why Drake would want to do that, it's because Drake and The Weeknd have beef. And it's not just them alone, their entire labels, I'm talking about OVO and XO labels, have beef with each other. For those who don't know the tea, Drake and The Weeknd go together a long time back. In fact, when The Weeknd was just starting off in the industry, Drake was one of the first people who showed an interest in signing The Weeknd. I mean, everybody could see that he was a bunch of talent and would make it big in the industry. Actually, it was Drake's friend and collaborator, 40, who first met The Weeknd and then introduced him to Drake. Drake was interested in signing The Weeknd to his record label, OVO Records. So he and 40 took The Weeknd under their wing, even though they didn't sign him immediately. However, they continued to work together, and Drake helped to groom The Weeknd's career. The Weeknd played a very important part in Drake's 2011 album, Take Care, and he helped write at least 4 songs on the album. But the crazy part is that for the longest time, Drake didn't really give The Weeknd full credit for his work on the album. In fact, we didn't know just how much The Weeknd contributed to the album until a couple of years ago, and Drake was finally forced to give The Weeknd the credit that he deserved. Anywho, Drake and The Weeknd continued to do their thing. At this point, Drake was already talking about signing The Weeknd to OVO label because he knew that The Weeknd was going to make him millions of dollars. But as it turns out, The Weeknd was quite smart, and he was keeping his eyes open and watching how things worked at OVO. He noticed that none of the artists that Drake signed achieved mainstream popularity or were successful with their careers. This is a pretty common phenomenon when you sign to an artist who has an active career of their own. Juggling a career is hard enough, but juggling a career while trying to build a career for a mentee is very hard, and very few celebs have managed to do that. For example, take a look at Beyonce. She has her own label and has also signed many artists as well. But apart from the Bailey sisters, none of Beyonce's other signees are successful. And even with the Bailey sisters, their music isn't selling as it should. For example, Chloe's debut album only sold 10,000 copies in the first week and peaked at number 119 on the Billboard Hot 200, which is low for an artist with Beyonce's backing. Also, even though Halle's solo songs are quite popular, she doesn't have a solo song on the main Billboard Hot 100 chart yet. She has some entries on other Billboard charts, just not the major ones. This is just weird considering that she has a large following on social media and is quite popular. But again, she is signed to Beyonce, who is an active artist who has her own career to focus on and can't give the Bailey sisters the support they need. The Weeknd knew that this was going to happen to him with Drake and his OVO label, so he decided not to sign with OVO. Instead, he signed with Republic Records in 2012, and he was able to grow his career. However, Drake was salty over this because he believes that The Weeknd owes him for the free publicity that he gave him early on in his career. Shortly after it was announced that The Weeknd was joining Republic, he tweeted, "You won't get away with just a thank you, you owe me a favor." The tweet also came days after The Weeknd publicly thanked Drake for helping him with his career.
Okay, hold on. So what I'm getting here is about 2 artists who are beefing, or rappers who are beefing. I mean, in the music industry, it is not even uncommon to see this, or to find this, or to find artists beefing one another or beefing each other. But again, let's talk about the label for a moment. She just clarified something. The narrator clarified something which I also want to point out or highlight. Sometimes just because you're signed into a record label doesn't mean for the first few period, they will give you your full credit regardless of what you do or your job. Because I mean, sometimes in the contract there are lots of things that goes on behind the scene. There are sometimes some people are under probation and to see how it's going to perform or how it's going to do well and all and the likes. I mean, there are procedures to lots of these things, and majority of them, they put business first, or business is placed forward first before any other thing. So sometimes some people are not patient enough to learn the art, regardless of the fact that they know they are talented, quite all right. But at the same time, sometimes learning from the people who is already in the industry would already give you an idea of what to expect or what to do, and also know that sometimes these people, there is only so little they can do, the rest is up to you. But again, it's not uncommon for beef to happen amongst rappers in the music industry. Sometimes it is jealousy one way or the other, and it's just sometimes it's just human beings being who they are. But Drake and The Weeknd, yo, let's go.
Drake, there be no Weeknd, there be no EXO. So please make some noise for my mentor, my brother, and my friend, Drizzy. Drake, let's
But Drake was not here for this because he was already banking on making millions of dollars from The Weeknd. He then decided to act petty, and when The Weeknd broke up with his girlfriend, Bella Hadid, Drake immediately made moves on Bella, and there were rumors of them dating at a point. It was clear that he was only after Bella to get The Weeknd's attention, and he even made a song about the situation called Finesse, where he said, "I want my baby to have your eyes. I'm going against my own advice. Should I do New York? I can't decide. Fashion Week is more your thing than mine. I can't even lie. I'd rather stay inside." The Weeknd caught this shade, and he replied in the song Lost in the Fire, where he threw insane shade at Drake. He said, "And I just want a baby with the right one, cause I could never be the one to hide one." This was clearly a dig at the fact that Drake hid his son Adonis from the world and only came out to admit it because Pusha T outed him during their beef. Well, they continued to beef with each other, even though they pretended to be on good terms with each other. But if you've had your ears tuned into the gossip, then you'll know that these two have been acting super duper shady toward each other for years. It eventually blew up a couple of weeks ago when The Weeknd jumped on the album We Still Don't Trust You with A$AP Rocky, Metro Boomin, and Future. The wild thing is that all four of them have beef with Drake, and according to Metro, Drake tried to block the song from getting released. Metro tweeted, "I'm lame, but the first week after Like That, you tried to block it on the radio. I've been sitting on this email for a month now, but was sparing you. Oh, you ain't like that record?" He also hinted that he has some heavy tea on Drake, saying, "Now go make another song telling more lies, cause we both know you can't tell everyone why I don't F with you. That wouldn't be a good look either for you, so I'ma spare us both with that." On the song All to Myself, The Weeknd hinted that Drake allegedly tried to give him a very bad contract when he wanted to sign him to OVO back in the day. He said, "Look at how we moving, baby. They could never diss my brothers, baby. When they got leaks in their operation, I thank God that I never signed my life away and we never do the big talk." Well, not long after this track dropped, there was a mysterious shooting in the home of The Weeknd's manager, Cash. Anyone who knows The Weeknd knows Cash because they go back a long, long way. Even though Cash wasn't hurt, a security guard was hit and was rushed to the hospital. The police released a statement that said the victim, male, black, 37 years old, was inside a guard shack when he heard several and discovered he had been struck. The suspects, 3 male, no further details, fled from the location. LAFD responded and transported the victim to a local hospital in unknown condition. 17500 block of Jaden Lane, Road 1067, April 29, 2024 at 0225 hours. It was referred to as a home invasion, but the streets believed that it wasn't no ordinary invasion, but an ordered hit.
We're following breaking news. A security guard has been shot in.
None of this is making sense. Exactly what it is, gossip. Because I mean, sometimes it may not necessarily be that these both artists or rappers are having a feud or having a beef. It might just be business, because lots of them, it is business first. Yeah, we understand that sometimes jealousy and every other thing might come in play. Pride and everything might come also in play. And yeah, they may not even like themselves, but pure beef. Let's not forget that all of these are already put in songs or music and they make money off of it. So more so it's gonna be beneficial to them, and maybe they might even sit somewhere and be laughing and behind closed doors and just enjoy and have a good time and present a frontier like they are beefing or having a beef between each other. Nobody knows, because nothing, you can't put nothing past all of this artists or entertainment industry at this point. But again, sometimes it's just fans that are fueling all of this to make it look like they both rappers or both artists are having a beef or this just because of some particular lyrics and all. It may not necessarily be, but also it is not uncommon for them to have all of this shoot and whatever, like what they have going on. It is not uncommon. It may not necessarily be both artists or be either of the artists. It may be something else or somebody they piss off. Nobody knows, because I mean, as long as they're a public figure, lots of people will not like them, or lots of people would be angry at something, or they may do something to somebody unknowingly and all of that. So it may not necessarily be the artists or the rappers themselves that are doing all of this. It may be somebody else. Sometimes people should just take a chill, really. These artists or these people, they are out here to make money, and regardless, it is money first for them. That's just the way I say it. But let me know what your thoughts are regarding this. Let's go on.
No ordinary invasion, but an ordered hit.
We're following breaking news. A security guard has been shot in Encino, and we now know the home has ties to the artist The Weeknd. Scott Reif live in Air 7 HD with details. Scott.
Yeah, Rachel, this is the home in question. Now, you see the emblem there on the basketball court. That's a record label of The Weeknd. And then you see the guard shack. You see a chair that's toppled over. And then you see what appear to be evidence markers. Those could be shell casings. We don't know for sure. We can't tell with our camera. But we can tell they're investigating in the back of the home. LAPD officers are here. About 2:45 this morning, there was a security guard was transported. Condition is unknown, so it's unclear right now if the security guard was shot during some sort of attempted robbery or burglary into the home, or if that security guard had been targeted here. We'll open up a little bit out. Show you, it's reportedly a $12 million home that is believed to be owned by a music industry executive with ties to The Weeknd.
Well, what would you know? Less than 2 weeks later, Drake's house in Toronto was hit in what is being referred to as a drive-by. Interestingly, a security guard was also kind of similar to what happened on The Weeknd's turf. It's kind of given an eye for an eye. At first, people pointed fingers at Kendrick Lamar and accused him of being the hit. To be fair, this wasn't a wild allegation because Drake and Kendrick are currently in the middle of one of the hottest and nastiest rap beefs in recent times.
Police confirming a shooting occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake in Toronto. This happening overnight in the wake of an escalating beef between Drake and hip-hop star Kendrick Lamar. This is the scene outside of Drake's home in the city's Bridle Path neighborhood, courtesy of our CTV News chopper. Police say a man sustained serious injuries after outside that home and was taken to hospital. Police also say a suspect fled in a vehicle, but no description has been released. So far, there's no word on whether Drake was at home at the time of the, but we understand from police that he has offered to fully cooperate.
But it was quickly proved that Kendrick knew nothing about the beef, and all fingers immediately pointed to The Weeknd as a sort of revenge for the situation at Cash's house. And it looks like Drake knows this as well, because word on the streets is that he is allegedly in talks with his lawyers to file a lawsuit against The Weeknd, and also push the police into filing criminal charges against him. However, The Weeknd is not having this, and allegedly, he sent a warning to Drake to shut his mouth or there would be dire consequences for that. Allegedly, there is more to come, and unless Drake keeps his mouth shut and behaves, he is going to find out just how gangster The Weeknd can be. Like I said, it's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for. Fans commented, the funniest thing about this UMG situation, Drake and Kendrick is over, but a bigger storm may be cooking up with Drake and The Weeknd. And it's going to be 10 times more damaging since they not only on the same parent company, but they on the same subsidiary. F Drake versus K-Dot, Drake versus The Weeknd is where it gets messy. And what if the person Drake should be scared of more than anyone is The Weeknd? Crazy plot twist. Anywho, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this drama, then check out this next video.
Once again, I just think that it is just fans that are fueling all of this. It may not necessarily be The Weeknd. It may not necessarily be Kendrick. Like I said before, it may not even be Kendrick Lamar. It may be something different. But again, people are just speculating and all over their head and pointing fingers and saying this, saying that, saying that. It may not be. It may be something different. Or sometimes it may be just like what the industry do. Like maybe obviously gaining attention or what to garner attention from people. But again, yeah, we understand that we've seen lots of this like in the past before, so people don't want to brush it off. But at the same time, let's not also look at other possibilities or other possible cases of the likelihood it may not be the rappers themselves or the artists themselves. It may be somebody else or it may be something else. But again, this is interesting though. It's not uncommon to see artists having beef or doing a beef song. At this point, nothing can be put past Hollywood, we know. But at the same time, sometimes, especially when it comes to Hollywood, I always want to say that they always put money first, regardless of whatever they have going on behind the scenes. And everything that happens behind the scenes is crazy, especially with Hollywood. So sometimes we don't even want to know the details, or we don't even know the details. They only give us surface level information that they want us to know. But this is interesting though. Once again, I still believe that maybe it's fans just all over in their head trying to create feud where there is none. But I mean, I understand where they're coming from, because I mean, this is not surprising coming from Hollywood as well. But let me know your thoughts in the comment down below. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I really love your honest contribution. You can share the useful information and think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.